I'll tell you what, there's nothing like a little sleep deprivation to put you into that ethereal zone.
Amen.
What time did we go to bed last night? About 2:30, quarter to 3?
3-ish, yeah.
Had some prairie visitation.
It's all right. It's their favorite hour, and it doesn't happen often, but when it does, between I think it's a combination of the event and then the adrenaline that happens or ensues
and
after.
And then after it wears down, you just kind of flatline.
Yeah.
Now this probably looks completely unfamiliar to most of you that follow along with us. We have come around to the farthest end that we could get to, and we are basically where the bog meets the woods. This is typically where we think most of the adults like to hang out when it's this extreme heat and humidity and everything else. It's always shady, always cool. You can see
Good breeze.
all of the arches all the way back through there as far as you can go. And one thing I would advise you on, Rachel, keep one eye to the ground and one eye to the trees today. If you can,
I'm trying to figure.
if you can get your eyes across that far.
I'm tilting my head, trying to.
Number one, things from the trees might come flying down towards us. And number two, there's cottonmouth or water moccasin, whichever name you prefer to use, as opposed to most of the copperheads that are up in the woods. And I don't know about you, I don't want to get hit by either one of them, but if I had my choice, I'd rather mess with the well, I'd rather mess with the copperheads if I had to choose.
You take the snakes, I'll take the overhead.
The lesser of two evils. I'll take the copperhead over the cottonmouth. So we are going to go out into this mess and swat the mosquitoes and the horseflies and see what we can see. Try to find where the water comes up at right now, because it's kind of dried out. You can see.
Yeah. Normally this is wet.
Yeah, normally this would have right here 1 foot to 2 foot of water standing in it. and keep an eye to the ground, not just for the snakes, but for the footprints, because we got a lot of soft ground here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to skirt around this way, because if I remember from last year coming back here, there was a kind of a halfway deer trail that cut off through there. So let's see if we can find it.
Keep talking. As I'm watching the ground, I'm going to invite our viewers to help watch.
Watch the bushes and the tree line ahead of us. We're trying to do 10 things at one time here, run the camera, try and walk and talk and tell you what's going on. I've got about 10 deer flies on my head.
That's a definite, there's a bit of a structure right here. It's a bit of a multitasking talent.
Now later on I'm going to share just a little tiny brief clip with you that was posted over on Rachel's channel, Into the Veil, of what kept us up half of the night. I encourage and invite you to go over and check out the full length of it. Like I said, it's at Into the Veil. That's Rachel's channel on YouTube. And it's a juvenile Bigfoot at the new gifting area.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It was exciting.
Well, up here on the bank of the creek, it's not too bad, but it is pretty mucky down there below.
It'll sink quick.
A lot of times, especially late at night, when something about the density of the air, whether the humidity lifts or what it is, but you can hear things for quite a long distance. Sound travels a lot farther at nighttime through the, I guess, thinner air than it does in the daytime, but you can hear the whoops and hoops and knocks and all the sounds coming out of this. Last night, after all of that kind of settled down, I could hear out in this direction a lot of sounds coming from it.
I mostly heard knocks, a little bit of whoop, but mostly not. I think they were trying to communicate that somebody had been seen.
Well, I figured out that if we walk, the horseflies follow us by the busload. If we stand still for about 2 or 3 minutes, they just kind of dissipate. Unfortunately, we got to keep walking to get to where I was wanting to go take a look at. Looking over here, across the creek, right down in the mud, and I'm seeing what looks like older toe prints, footprints, and stuff right down in there. See if I can pick it up on the camera. Well, come on, let's get on with the rest of it.
All right.
Well, I think we're going to have to backtrack and go back around on the trail and come in from the high side. Only way we're going to get across this is with the chest waders, and we don't have them with us today.
Mm-mm.
I'm not so sure that that hole out there in the middle wouldn't be too deep for that.
A lot of sinkholes in here. But it is pretty.
going to try to skirt the hill for just a little bit and see if we can make our way a little deeper back into here. Rachel was noticing some little tiny footprints all down in this mud. One thing to bear in mind back in here is there's also
a lot of elemental, a lot
of elemental energy that
right here in front of us. We're going to tread very lightly and kind of trying to communicate, make sure it's all right. Yes, you may pass. And they know that we're not intending to harm anything, but you know, when you communicate with nature, it's really important that you honor all life and all forest spirits, because it can get pretty ugly pretty quick with elemental energies if they, especially if they sense disrespect, similar to the people, but they can be a little more spiteful. Is that the word I want? Once they've made their point, they let it go pretty quick.
Just keep your eyes down around the ground here. I'm kind of blowing and swatting at deer flies while we're walking, so bear with me here.
It's quite the sight.
Did you hear that back there?
Mm-hmm.
I hear a faint, kind of like a screech.
There's crows not far from us.
Just kind of look around for a minute. Now, there's places back in here that you get turned around and you could wander around for a day and a night trying to figure out exactly where you're at, unless you can see where the stars and the moon are.
And sometimes you have to be cautious in what I call a charmed woods, because sometimes it can be intentionally distracting. We associate the infrasound, of course, with the big guys, but even elemental, I hear you, even elemental energies have their ways.
Would you say that they are more likely to emit the ultrasounds, ultrasonic waves, instead of the...
Some would. Most kind of avoid those that are, they have their own hierarchy. So those that would be higher up on the ladder can be a little hard to negotiate with, but they can be worked with. Most of the time they don't get reactive until they feel like their home is being threatened.
Another thing that's out here in a larger abundance, and you'll see their tracks every so often, but the coyotes.
Mm-hmm. I was telling Ken, I keep seeing movement, and I chalk it up to the breeze, but then the movement isn't matching the movement
of the way the
of
breeze,
what's going on, you know, with the breeze. So I'm just kind of
breeze
watching.
is moving the limbs one way, and what we're seeing is moving the other.
And something else that we have experienced and can say about the people, they have a great ability to work with the elements that are involved in weather, and wind being one of those. And I feel like sometimes when they are on the move or need that extra assurance of not being seen moving. I kind of feel like that's when these random or seemingly random breezes out of nowhere start kicking in, because that's when we're noticing unusual movement that's not matching the weather exactly. But if I were going back 25 years, I probably would not pay attention.
Well, I think we're coming into another dead end. Like I said, we didn't wear the
We should have
boots or any of that stuff out here today.
Should have worn.
And that's pretty soft and deep over there. It doesn't look like it from here, but it is. When you walk on it, I can already feel myself sinking about 4 or 5 inches as we step forward.
Well, let's go. You want to go up the hill?
Yeah.
Somebody just said advisable. You know, these days have been hot, but they've been so beautiful. It's hard not to try to get out, at least in these shady areas, and explore a little.
Well, I think on our next attempt back here, we're going to bring a 55-gallon barrel of DEET, because these horseflies are about to pick my rear end up and fly off with me.
I feel like this hill gives them a good vantage point.
Well, I was kind of hoping that we'd run into some tracks or some. Wait a minute, right there. What's that in front of us?
There you go.
Small ones.
They are. Something else that we've noticed, like if I look at this, I see two. There's a narrow heel, and up here I feel like I'm seeing the bumps of toes, although this is dried out a bit. But sometimes the young ones will walk inside the track of the adults, and that's for good reason. That one back there looked male, the bigger.
Well, I don't think we're going to manage to get very deep down into that. It's probably a good thing, because it is just horrific with the
It'll be all right.
horse flies, deer flies, and mosquitoes right now.
But
I invite you to go check out Rachel's new video over on Into the Veil. Got a pretty interesting clip to share with you over there. We thought we'd bring you out today on a little different angle of everything and show you some of this boggy down in here.
And please bear with when you do go see the video. Yesterday was an excruciating day for getting our outside work done, and you will be able to tell in a heartbeat
We didn't
that I am
start.
not myself.
We didn't start doing the outside work until about 7 o'clock yesterday evening. It was 101 with 115 heat index. And
Yeah.
most
Which-
everything that we did was between 7:30 at night and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and a lot of us are dealing with it and having to do the same, but I will apologize in advance for my appearance. I really don't think too much about what I have on when I'm out working in the yard.
This is a spot that will definitely bring you back to hopefully this fall when some of the foliage is down and you can see a little deeper down into it.
And maybe sooner. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, a 55-gallon barrel of DEET is in order. Well, we appreciate you guys tagging along today. Stay cool. Stay safe out there. Watch out for all those little slither, crawly things that'll bite you in the ankles as you go by. Catch you later down the trail.
Thank you.